What's up, guys? Welcome to Life Knowledge. My name is Justin Alphabet. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. Today we're going to be talking about the one. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay to the end of the video so you get all the information that you need. And today we're talking about the one. The one basically means like the one person that's for you. And sometimes people call that a twin flame or a soulmate or different kinds of things. And I did a little bit of research on that. Apparently, a soulmate is anyone who is like a kindred spirit. A soulmate can be a brother, a friend, a sister, anyone who like is on the same wavelength as you are, right? You can have soulmates that are not relationship soulmates. Your parents could be soulmates, right? With you, like all of you could be mates, like homies or friends that are soul tied, like, and a little bit what soul tied mean is that your souls are connected through love, right? And so there are many different types of things like that. You could have a soulmate connection with your dog or something like that. I don't know, your friends and family or just people that you love and you care deeply about. So the point being that the soulmate could be technically anyone. A lot of people have many soulmates in their life, and they may have many people who they love and many people who they are connected to and can connect to. And then we have a twin flame, which is a step above that, which is basically like the exact mirror image of us is what that would be considered of. It's almost like a flame that's been split into two fires, but it's still the same fire, right? And so when that fire comes back together, it's able to kind of like be one, like you're literally able to be like with the one. And many people don't find that in their life. Chances are that you probably will never find that in your life, and that's life. So don't expect that. And that's okay. You can be just as happy with a soulmate as you can be with a twin flame, right? The point being is that like it's not really about that. It's not life is not really about finding the one. First off, life is about finding yourself and creating a better version of yourself no matter what. Because oftentimes people think that their life is going to go a certain way, and then it ends up going a completely different way. That's how life typically is. Things just happen that way, and that's okay. Life is like a river, like you may be, redirected down a completely different way. You're a little leaf in that river, right? And you could go off a small waterfall, you could go through some rapids, you could get sucked under for a little while and come back up, and just various things, right? Like there are lots of kinds of things that happen in the course of the river of life, right? But ultimately, we know that it comes to an end. There's always an end. There is only one thing that's promised in life, and that's death. And so don't worry so much about finding the one, because that's not why you're here. Life is often talked about as a test. If there is a higher power, if there's a deity, if there's something that's after this life, then that person or that thing or that energy is testing us to see whether we're going to make the right choices for ourselves or we're going to make the wrong choices for ourselves and other people. And so it's your job and your responsibility in this life to treat it like a test. Do your best on the test and get the highest score that you possibly can or whatever. And the score might not be determined in numbers. It might just be in the smiles that you give to people, the hugs you give to people, the love that you share, the growth that you have, the control of your emotions, the strengthening of your mind and your mentality and your emotional state, and things of that nature, right? Self-control and completeness and balance and homeostasis and wholeness are what we mostly try to achieve as humans. And so with that, when you're worried about finding the one, you probably won't ever end up finding the one, because the way to find the one is not what people think it is. Typically, the way that you find the one is first through working on yourself. If you're not the one first, then you will never find the person who's your divine counterpart or your twin flame in the first place. If you don't do the work on yourself, you could miss the opportunity to be on the same level or be, with that person who you want to be with the one. So focus on, building yourself up. Focus on working on yourself. And you can imagine that through this analogy of like when air masks fall down on an airplane. They tell you that you're supposed to put your air mask on first in an airplane when the cabin pressure is low, because you need to make sure that you can breathe first before you start to help other people. If you can't help yourself first, or if you're passed out from lack of oxygen, you can't help the people around you. You're not going to be able to help your children or a child next to you, or help an elderly person put on their mask or whatever, if you don't have your mask on first. If you're not straight, then you're not going to be able to help other people get straight. You know what I mean? So you got to help yourself first. You got to help get yourself in order and yourself in alignment before you start to help other people. And what's funny is that typically we attract whoever is around us putting on their mask as well. As people take care of themselves and level up on their level, we'll start to attract similar people. As the better care that we take care of ourselves, the more we'll attract people who are also taking better care of themselves as well. And life is meant to have levels, right? Life is kind of like a game in some ways, where the person that you dated in elementary school or whatever is not going to be a good person for you currently now. And the person that you marry may have to evolve with you over time through, 80 plus years of marriage, or 20, 30 years of marriage, whatever, level or age you get married at, right? The point here being is that like people change, right? As we go down the river of life, we get experiences. We go through rapids. We go through all kinds of hard things, and waves and calm times and smooth times and things like that. And each of these experiences help us connect with people on different levels and in different ways. We may be like, I never want to go through that type of rapids again, stuck to these other leaves that were with me or whatever. I don't want to be attached to this branch or this, tree that I'm stuck with or whatever. And you float down the river and continue. I don't know how to perfectly put that into an analogy, but you may change the direction of your leaf. You may change many different things over time, right? And the point being is that we're built to change. Something that's interesting scientifically on a scientific level and biological level is that every single cell in our entire body, every single, atom and cell, after 7 years has completely changed. You are a completely new person biologically through every cell in your body every 7 years. Every skin cell, every organ cell, every brain cell, every part of your entire body has completely changed into a completely new and different cell. That's why, our skin cells fall off. Our bones on the inside have changed and become completely different cells. They've grown, our teeth, etc. Everything in our entire body has become a different cell after 7 years, is what scientists say, which is very interesting, because that means that you are literally, physically, a completely different person after 7 years. Crazy, huh? So anyways, the point being here is that like when you're looking for the one, you're not focused on what you truly should be focusing on, and you're not focusing on bettering yourself. So better yourself and the one will come. As you work on yourself, you'll find someone who's willing to grow with you and go with you down the path of life, who's on the same level as you, and who's going to continue to level up and grow with you. Because once you're, married, you're not going to stop growing. Once you finish college, you're not going to stop growing. Once you have a family, you're not going to stop growing. And like I said, the constant river of life is constantly going. So you have to choose people and partners and friends and family and, the people that are going to go with you down this road of life for as long as possible. Because obviously everybody dies and everybody has an endpoint in their journey. But the point being is that as you choose partners, as you choose people, choose the person that's going to stick with you for the longest amount of time, who's willing to grow and is constantly working on growing themselves. That's the person that you want to choose as your one. If they choose to stay behind, if they choose to not come with you, then they weren't the one. And the one will be somewhere farther down the path, someone who wants to stick with you and stay with you throughout the rest of your journey of life. So don't feel bad if there's a person that you've left behind. Don't feel bad about the people that you wish that you would have, brought with you or whatever. They literally chose to stay behind, and that's okay. They could, at some point in the future, choose to catch up with you. That's okay too. The river flows in many weird directions, right? But the point being is that specifically, if they were the one, then they'll come back to you. If they weren't the one, then you still haven't found the one, and that's okay. That means that you can still find the one. And I want to tell you right now that typically people hold out hope for people who they think are the one, but that's typically more detrimental. When people split up, it's usually for a specific reason. If you made a mistake, it's your responsibility to fix it. If you walked away and you made a mistake, and or if the other person, let you go and you think they made a mistake, it might be good to have a conversation about it. But give it time. Let them reach out. If they were the one, they'll reach out. If they realize they made a mistake, they will reach out. And so, if either of you at some point in the future feels like you made a mistake, there may be a conversation that needs to be had. But first, you got to heal yourself and work on yourself and make sure that you are, focusing on yourself. You're putting on your air mask and making sure that you're good, because you don't want to re-enter a relationship when you're not at your best. The best relationships happen when two people at their very best come together in full health and happiness and share that full health and happiness that they both have together. You're not supposed to rely on someone for your happiness. Other person is not supposed to be your happiness, and you cannot be someone else's happiness. They have to have their own happiness, and you have to have your own happiness, and then you bring it together to create more happiness. You have to have boundaries. That's something that I had a hard time learning, is making sure that I had boundaries, but I was also vulnerable. You have to have integrity in making sure that you have, boundaries and rules set up to protect yourself, but you also have to have the ability to be vulnerable and, make sure that you're not hiding behind walls to protect yourself from the one person that's supposed to love you. You have to be able to take your walls down and let the right people in, but also keep the walls up to make sure that the wrong people stay out. So yeah, that's basically the entirety of this video. I hope it helped you. If you guys are looking for the one, stop looking. And, pray to God, ask him to give you opportunities and experiences that are going to help you grow so that you will become a better person. And another quick tip is that or you can also pray to the universe or God or whatever your deity is, or higher power. Another tip is that I want you to write down everything that you want in a partner. And then once you write down everything that you want in a partner, as long as it's, legal, moral, and ethical, and it's realistic, I want you to become that list. If you're a woman, don't become a man. If you're a man, don't become a woman. Don't become exactly what you want. But if there's things like, I want my person to become or be spiritual, I want my person to be physically fit, I want my person to be smart, I want my person to be emotionally stable, those kind of things, make sure that you are those things first, at least to a specific level that you can tolerate, right? You can't ask someone to be or do something that you're not first doing yourself. If you're not fit, you will have a harder time finding someone who's fit. It's not impossible, but typically people are more happy with people who are on their similar or same levels in fitness and health and mentality and emotions, in finances, or etc. Blah blah blah. Right. So finding that balance is important. So write that list down of all the things that you want, and then become it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have the day you deserve. Let's level up, and I'll see you in the next one.